Hey, David here with DIY Mountain Bike. Gonna install twist shifters on the Huffy mountain bike. So we tore off everything on the old twist shifters, but just as a reminder, if you wanted to just swap out everything on your handlebars, just a little Allen key. It looks like this one's about a 3 millimeter. The ones I'm putting on need a 2.5. And then as a note, as you're taking off the old stuff, save the cable covers. Save the cable covers, okay? You can use those to measure for installing on the new stuff. So you can reuse the old covers, the old cable covers, but I would recommend replacing them. So what tools are we gonna need? Let's go over to the bench. We're gonna need cable cutters and crimping tools, right? I bought a whole cable set. You know, it's got the cover cables for both brakes and shifting. And in that came obviously the covers and those ends that are nice, the little spacers that you use on the shifter cables themselves, along with those fancy little ends. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Right, so that's what's in this little kit. I'll have that in the description below. Here is our twist shifters, right? Got those. I'll explain what I got there. Screwdriver. We need a pair of needle noses, good. Hex wrench for this job. We're going to use a 4 and a 2.5. 4 and a 2.5. So the 2.5 would be what screws on our twist shifter on the handlebars. The 4 is for the bolt that is on my derailleur in the front. Then we got our handle. We're going to use this. It came with my kit. And then you can see up here I got a rag. I'm going to use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol or some brake cleaner and use this to install the grip. Clean it off good. It's still a little bit wet, and then slide it on quick. So I got my old covers here, my old housings, and some new housings. We're going to use those to measure. I'll show you how to cut and install that little end. So, okay, when you're buying your shifters, right? Let's get up here. This is a 3x7, so 3 gears in the front. 1, 2, 3. So high, middle, low. These are called chain rings. So we're up in the front. Let's move over to the back. You can see here we've got 7 gears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so it's a 3x7. So when we're buying, make sure you're getting something that has 7 gears, right? And it's the same brand. Where's my other one? Oh, here it is, right here. And so there's our 3. So we're going to start sticking this guy on. So it's all right. It's kind of general hand position, like that. I think I might actually put it underneath. Just looking where the gears are at. I like it about like that. All right, underneath we got our 2.5 millimeter hex. Let me just double check my spacing here. Looks good. I'm not gonna go super tight on this because once I'm in the seat itself, I'm gonna end up repositioning those brakes, I'm sure. And I like where they're at now, but once you're riding, it's gonna give you a better feel. All right, we'll come back and do this stuff in a minute. Let's talk about the routing real quick on our front shifter, front derailleur. So you can see we've got our twist shifter on. Cable comes out of the bottom here, right? And what it actually does is, I'll stretch the old housing in, right? It goes down, right? Snakes around to the same side of the bike. And then it goes down this area, and you can see down by the floor, we've got our shifter cable, right? It's right here. Goes into this little guide, and then up over the top here. Comes up over the top and locks in over on this side. So we're going to replace all of that. Again, there, loops down, opposite side of the bike underneath the post, guide underneath the bottom bracket, back up, locks in place. So we'll talk for a minute here. There are two screws, a low and a high, low and a high. These are stops. These limit the travel of the front derailleur. So right now I've got it set. Let me see if I can get you in there. Lining up pretty square. So here's my derailleur, right? These guys right here, right on that lowest gear. So 1, 2, and then right back here is 3 gears. I want to show you something real quick. So I bought that cable kit. I want to show you the difference. So these are what shifter cables look like. So if you look inside of this guy, there's a fine wire coating. Same with this one on the other side of the stand. Don't confuse that with a brake cable. Brake cables are bigger in table, so bigger in diameter. Brake, shifter. Right? Can you see the difference there? This one's actually got a coiled wire. The shifter or the brake cable has a coil around it. The shifter cables actually has fine wires in there. Hey, David here. I want to jump in just for a second. If you can, subscribe. I keep forgetting to say that thing, subscribe. I got just a little channel, and every little plug really helps me out. So if you can subscribe, that would be wonderful. So this is our front shifter cable. Measure off the length. Get it to the spot. Cable cutters are nice in these situations. Kind of grips around it and cuts all the way around. I do recommend, I have a little pointer tool, right? It's just a piece of wood with a nail sharpened up. Make sure your plastic coating inside is in good shape. Get our plastic covers. Another cover. These guys you don't need to crimp on. Make sure our plastic's in good shape. Right? I like to put a little bit of grease on. Okay, an important thing, at your shifter, make sure you screw in the barrel adjuster at the twist shifter all the way in. All right, that's going to give you your adjustment tension later on. Okay, again, I'm running it on my side, at least on this Huffy, that's the routing. My twister shifter on the handlebar is at my #1 position. So I should be able to guide this guy through. It's gonna go up. I'm gonna, you know what? I'll tell you right now, I'm getting a little bit of grease down on that little bracket underneath. There's just a little guide. I'm gonna put a little bit of grease on there. So I lay it in my groove. All right, let's just do it this way. All right, wrap it around. And we're gonna come up, through, It's basically wrapped around my bolt at this point. Tighten this up. Get a little bit tighter, and then I'm going to get my needle nose on here. So what I'm really trying to do is take out as much slack in that cable as I can. Tight. At this point, I should be able to test. Let me move you out of the way. Hey, David here. I want to jump in just for a second. If you can, subscribe. I keep forgetting to say that thing, subscribe. I will put our washer on. Here's our little hack. A little bit of brake cleaner isopropyl. If you're fast, slide it on, and then it evaporates off. And you're good to go. That guy will stick on there in a little bit. So we got our grip on, got our shifter on. Let's talk about what we did down here. Routed our cable here, down underneath, wraps up around, wrapped it around our bolt. We got this long cable. Let's do a quick little trim on that real quick. Okay, when trimming the cable, I want to make sure it doesn't get wrapped up in anything. So if I trim her about right there, it's not going to touch the wheel. Low probability of touching anything else. Let's get our cable cutters. Cable cutters for bikes have these rounded cutting. Keeps everything together when you cut it. Let's put our cap on. I'm going to use one of our little clinching areas. Alright, that is our cable system, or our shifter. Got a little bit of rubbing, but we'll go into some adjustments later on in our next video.